Hi guys, it's Cats from So Sweet Charms, and today we're going to be making a ladybug on a leaf earring. So we'll get started. Colors you're going to need is your red, your green, and this particular green is wasabi, and your black. And you can use any colors if you like. These are the colors that we're going to use. And then any of your tools, and you guys know I keep it in a cup right here, and a blade to cut it if you need to. All right. We're going to start with the leaf. And before you get started, I forgot, get your baby wipes, clean your hands, or make sure your hands are nice and washed. Or the other techniques from my other video is just using a scrap piece of clay and rubbing it on your hands to make sure that you get everything off. And either one will work. Sorry guys. All right, let's get the green. Okay, and then you just want to prime it, make it nice and warm and workable. I hope that's in focus there. And my daughter's beside me watching what I'm doing. Say hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
Alright. And I'm just going to take off a piece off of here.
Could I help you?
Yeah, in a second. Alright, so with making these, I actually have a leaf cutter. I don't necessarily know where it is right now. It's in with all my cake decorating stuff. I haven't separated it since I stopped doing cakes. So it's somewhere in one of these bins that I have. But I'm going to show you how to do a freehand whimsical style of leaf. So I'm just going to change the camera position there.
What are you making? Your clover leaf?
No, it's like a whimsical leaf. Alright, I'll show you. Alright, so we're going to start off with it in a ball. Okay, so just like that.
Can I help you?
And we're going to roll it out. And I want it actually somewhat thin, but not too thin that it's going to fall apart, but thick enough that I can do what I have to do to it. All right, so from here, we're going to cut it in a square, and I'm just using a scrape blade. Okay, square, rectangle, whatever you want to use. And I'm going to flip it over. And we're going to lift it up and tuck it over and tuck it over. There you go. See? Really neat, eh? So that is a style of that we use in cake decorating, and that's completely up to you if you want to use this type of style. I think it's a really neat design, and then I would go further in pressing it down and then tapering it like that so that the ladybug can sit right here. Now, because I'm using this for earrings, I still find that that's just a little bit too large. It depends on how big you want it, but I'm going to make a smaller version of it, and I'm just going to be doing a simple leaf. So that was one technique of leaf. So this one, I'm going to do freehand, and you're just going to shape it like a teardrop. Okay, so I hope you can see that. Oh, my clay went flying there. And then I'm going to trim off the excess there. All right, so that is the beginning part of my leaf. And I'm just gonna get my earring post because I wanna make sure that it is large enough that it's gonna sit on here, which it is, as you can see. All right, so just put that back down. And if your edges are rough, you can just smooth it out with your fingers. And then I'm going to get my my boning tool here, and it has like a little groove here, and these are cake decorating tools. I don't necessarily, like I said in my previous video, if clay ones are the same, but I hope to find out one day. But right now, since I'm not doing cake decorating anymore, I'm going to use my tools that I have on hand. And if you're interested in purchasing any of these were bought at Golda's Kitchen, and I will leave a link below. So what I'm going to do now is go from the tip of the leaf and bring it down to the bottom in the center. And I'm just lightly pressing it, and it's created the center vein. All right, so I'm just going to turn this so that it's easier for me to work with and that you're able to see what I'm going to do next. And then from there, I'm going to work upwards on an angle. All right, so I hope you guys can see that. I'm just going to turn it this way so that I can match now, working from the bottom, working up, and match the exact same side. Just like that. Now, if you wanted to do more detail, what you can use is either like a wheel. It's a cutting wheel. Again, this is from a company called PME. You can use that, or you can use your blade, either your razor blade or your X-Acto knife, and you're just gonna trim it, like not trim it, like kind of slice down into it, and I'll show you in a second. And you want it to go in the same direction, and I'm just doing slices actually straight through clay, so I hope you can see that. And it's kind of made the leaf more feathery. And again, do this side. Sorry guys, I hope you could see that. There we go. Really neat effect. All right, so we're just gonna place that aside. And at this point, if you wanted to, you can curl it so that when it's sitting on there, it has more shape. And that's what I think I'm gonna do. So you can see it's kind of raised up. So all I did was, oops, let's show you. Just hold it and just push it up with the one finger and then bend. All right. I'm just gonna place that on my cookie sheet. And we're gonna do the next one. So I have the ball already here. All right, and we're gonna roll it out how we rolled out the other sides. And the best thing to do when you are doing this is to cut both of the pieces together so that they're equal. But we're gonna eyeball it and hopefully it turns out. Right, Caitlin? Right? She really wants to help me. So you can see it's roughly the same size, and when we slice down to it, it will go into its shape. So right now, I'm just smoothing out any of the edges, placing it on my board here so you guys can see again. And again, from the center, bring it down. And I'm not pressing hard that it's going actually through it. If you find that your clay is sticking to the surface, you can use cornstarch to help release it. Otherwise, you can use a palette knife, which is not in my cup. Caitlin, can you give me the palette knife over there? It's the one with the brown handle. Sorry guys, just 1 second. All right, there's my palette knife. And you're just pushing it to the surface, not into the clay, because otherwise you'll cut the clay. You're pushing it along the surface and it just drags underneath that, and enough of it will pick up the whole thing if it's too stuck, or if you just lift the corner, it will pick it right up. All right, and again, just doing that and flip it to the other way. Up, And then I'm going to use the X-Acto again and do the exact same thing to here and do my feathering. And you're just kind of scraping the edge of it and slicing it and pulling it so that it feathers it. Okay, and then to form the leaf again, you hold the back, push up with the one finger, and then curl up this piece. There you go. All right, so now I have two matching pairs. One leaf is slightly larger than the other, but that's okay, because leaves in nature are slightly larger, but if you wanted equal, it's just a little difference. Not, just very, very, very slight. So I'm just gonna shape these more. Just to make them a little bit more even. There we go. And now we have the same size of leaf. Alright, and again, form them and just place it on the cookie sheet. And make sure when you are actually doing the curve that when it sits on the post, that it's going to sit nice and even on your earring. That's just something to keep in mind. Alright, so we are done with the leaves. That's how super easy it is to make these earrings. Alright, we're going to move on to the ladybug. And again, you want to clean your hands in between colors, but since I was using the green doesn't stain as much as the red. You can see it's already on my fingers. For some reason, this red is really strong and it leaves, it stains. So make sure you're working on a surface that you don't mind that it's going to get dirty. Alright, now with these, we want just tiny little balls because we don't want them to be too big that it's going to overpower the leaf. And we don't want them too small that it's going to be hidden. Again, you can make any size, completely up to you, but I do want my leaf to be kind of my focus. So I'm just bringing one of the leaves here just so I can see. So it's up to you if you like that size or not. So these are two different sizes. So that's quite large because you have to remember we're still slicing a piece off and we're going to be putting the front of the head. So just seeing, I actually think I might make them smaller. So I'm just going to make the larger ball. I'm going to cut it in half since it's an equal roll. And then I'm going to use this as my ladybug. I'm going to check the size here. Yeah, and that's more the size that I want sitting on the leaf. Okay, and I'm just going to roll the other one, and you just want to make sure they're even as much as possible. Sometimes it's hard. The easiest way to do that is actually rolling out a flat piece of the clay and getting a cookie cutter, cutting that in half, and you will have equal pieces. There we go. So those are pretty equal. So from here, I'm going to press down lightly just so that I flatten the bottom, and then I'm just gonna roll it out with my finger. So kind of just like curving the side, but underneath it's flattened. And again, you could do that on top of your sheet. So I'm gonna do the same to this one. All right, and we're gonna flatten that out. We wanna make sure the size is roughly the same as the other one. Okay, so I hope you guys can see that. So you can see that it's still domed, but it's flat underneath. Again, still domed and it's flat underneath. All right, from there, I'm using my boning tool again. I have a bigger side and a smaller side where you are using the smaller side, and I'm working from Oops, my finger was in the way there. Let's see. I don't know how to angle this. Basically, I'm working from here and I'm going to rotate it all the way over. So just like that. And go from there and go the opposite way so that it makes the slice. So I hope you can see that. Okay. And again with this one, like this, bring it over, and from the other way go across, just so you're matching it up. And if you can't get the rotation that you're looking for, you can always pick it up in your hand and you just rock it. Okay. And again here, just rock it. So now we have 2 indents on them. One of them is not sitting too perfect, and if it's not, you can roll it and redo it again, but I'm just going to form it right now and do it. Okay, then what I'm going to do is kind of just squeeze the bottom so that it tapers in. Okay, so I hope you can see that it tapered in. And then where it's tapered in, that's the back of the bum. And then I'm just going to get either my razor blade or X-Acto, and I'm just going to trim off just the tip. So just a tiny little piece off of there. Alright. And again, if you want more depth, you can use your scribing tool, which is this. And press down in that line. Do it to this one as well. And if it comes out of shape, your little point, just squeeze it back together. So it almost looks like you're making a heart. Okay. And that is it for the red. Now I'm just gonna get my baby wipes to wipe off my fingers. Even though I'm using the color black, I don't want that red to be transferred over. Okay, and just dry your hands, and Caitlin's gonna pass me the black. Thank you. My assistant, do you mind putting away the red? Thank you so much. Right here. No, putting this back in there. Alright, so get my black. And again, like I've always said before, I only use Primo brand currently. We don't have the souffle here in Canada, or I haven't been able to find it yet. So that is why I only use the Primo. I like it better. It has more flexibility once you bake it. That's just my preference. Other people like the Primo. It's completely up to you which one you like. Alright, so took just a piece off, rolling it into a ball always. And then I'm going to cut that in half. And then I'm going to cut that into another half. So it's basically a quarter. And I want to make sure that it's not too big. So this one's a little bit too large, so I'm just going to pinch off a piece. Pinch off a piece of that one. Okay, and I'm going to roll these tiny little ones into a ball. Okay, and then I'm just going to place it right on top. So I'm just pushing it slightly into it, and then now what I'm going to do is kind of taper the top to match the front of the head. There we go. So you can see that there's still a gap there. Sorry guys if it's out of focus. You can see there's a gap between the black. So I'm just lightly holding it and I'm just pinching the red just to match up to the black. They're so cute. I love them. Yeah. Okay. And if you're afraid that the black part's gonna come off, you can push down underneath it, or you can put TLS to hold the pieces together. But that's basically it for the ladybugs. So I'm just gonna get my leaf and my other leaf here. And Caitlin, can you give me some TLS? So up to you, you can put this directly on here or you can use TLS. I'm going to use TLS just to make sure that it is definitely secured on there. I'm just taking off some white that got picked up on here. Yep. And then if you don't know what TLS, it is basically translucent liquid sculpty. Looks like that. That's how the package here in Canada is. Sorry guys.
Okay, that's the line at the back of their thing when their wings open.
Yep, that's the back of their line when their wings open. So I'm just dipping it into with a toothpick, and I'm just placing some underneath. And you don't need very much, just very little. And just place the ladybug wherever you'd like it to sit. Like that. And I'm just doing the same to this one. And you can have one sitting in one way and the other one sitting in the opposite direction because they're going to be on opposite ears. So when they're on opposite ears, it'll look like it's sitting in the same direction, if you know what I mean. Okay. And that's basically it, guys. So at this point, you can add in a little flower if you wanted to on the side, just to add a little bit more detail to it. Thank you, Caitlin. I couldn't think of the word, and my daughter did for me. So I'm just going to play a little bit more with this leaf. If you find that your leaf is not shaping, you can also put tin foil underneath it in order to get the shape that you are looking for. But that's basically it. So I'm going to bake these guys for about, it's not too big, it's thin actually. So I'm going to bake them for about 35 minutes to 40 minutes. And when I come back, I will show you what I do with putting the dots on. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back. They have finished baking and they look really cute. Super, super cute. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I do my dots. It's up to you. You can use a dotting tool. I'm just testing to see how much is coming off at one time. And that's pretty much it. 3 dots. Or as many dots as you want, and you want to make the pattern equal on either side. Okay, I'm just going to do it to this one. I know it's kind of hard to see, but you could kind of generalize what I'm doing if you can't see the dots. I'm waiting for my other camera to come so I can film properly. It's being fixed. Okay, there we go. I'll pick it up. Hope you can see that. I have 3 little dots on either side. Okay, at this point you can put in little white dots and then put black if you wanted to. I'm just leaving them like that because I want them to look more realistic. Alright, you can let them dry before you do this step, but I'm going to do this anyways. I'm just going to get my piercing pad. And I showed you guys this the other day when I was doing my haul video, just in case you haven't seen it. It's just a piercing pad, and it does have different sides of grids on either side. I'm just using it to hold my earrings, and it's a self-healing. So when I pull it out, the hole will be there, but it's not going to create a deeper hole. Okay, so put it like that, and it holds it actually really well. So I'm excited about that. I'm getting my E6000, and I just want to make sure that I put it on the backing of the earring. So I'm just dipping it into there, and you could do it the other way, and I have a video of how to apply E6000 nice and evenly on there, but I'm just gonna do this just a quick way. All right, and I'm just gonna place that on the back of the earring, and I'm gonna put it back in that hole and let them sit there.
What tastes gross?
My daughter finally got the taste of the root beer lollipop there, and now she's saying it's gross after eating it halfway. She's not a very big candy person, which I guess is a good thing. Okay, and again, placing it on the back of this one as even as possible. And that is it, guys. So that is your ladybug earrings. Really cute, really easy to make. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there is another style of video that you would like to see using this similar technique, I could definitely do that. Just let me know what animals you want to see. Again, we could have added a little flower on here if we wanted to, but I think Vaval will like these. We made them for Caitlin's grandma, so my mom, and I hope she likes them. What do you think? Yeah? All right, guys, so we're gonna glaze this. If you want to know how to glaze, just watch a video that I've done before, and that's basically it. So thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye. Now could you
Hi guys, I'm back. I couldn't leave the video like that. I had to show you the full thing. I said for you guys to watch how to glaze it. I have to glaze them and show you. Sorry. So next step, Varathane. I already talked about that one, so I will leave it. Do not shake it because you do not want to create any bubbles. So you just want to open it up. It's sometimes hard, Caitlin, because it's sticky, right? And sometimes it sticks. So just go all the way around.
What are you using?
I'm using a fork. Thank you for asking. I'm using the back of a fork.
Oh.
All right, I'm just getting a parchment paper. Just lifting the earrings. They are completely dried already. E6000 is amazing. And I'm going to poke it through my parchment paper and place it right back into those holes. And if I don't line it up, it's okay. I'll poke another hole. I don't mind. All right. And they're getting ready to glaze. So it's very liquidy, milky. So you can see, I'm just using a regular brush, and I'm going to go over top directly first of what I've painted. And the reason for that is the black tends to bleed if you just brush it from there. So now that I've put some of it on there, I can now brush and it won't bleed. Okay. And you can, I hope you can see that, but it is very cloudy. And make sure that if you're a young child that you have your parents helping you do this, because it is a chemical. Okay, there we go. And for a second there I thought I lost some dots. It was just covered by some of the glaze. All right, and glaze all over it. And I'm just doing the top side. You can protect the bottom. It's completely up to you, but you don't have to. Okay, I'm just gonna get a little bit more glaze.
There's too much on the other one. Are you not doing?
My daughter's saying there's too much on the other one. but it's not. It's just sitting in the bottom base, and we will direct it off very shortly. And the reason I put the parchment is so that it's not going to ruin your bottom surface. And it's going to catch off any excess dripping that may occur. So I'm just going to take that off. I have no idea what that's from, but it got picked up. Maybe one of my dots came off the other side. Oh, it did. Oh, poop. Alright, so I lost the dots on the one side. Oh, they're coming off for some reason. Alright, guys. So, I'm going to take these dots off. So you can see they're just coming directly off. So I don't think I let it sit there long enough to dry before I started. So what I'm going to do is take these off.
We'll paint new ones? And
paint new ones, yes, honey. And I'm hoping
it won't smash.
That it will sit over top of the glaze, because I'm not too sure, because it's never happened to me. But you can see, allow it to dry properly first.
I hope it doesn't smash like paint.
Right. All right, let's give it a try, and hopefully it doesn't slide. Yay. Okay, so that works. There we go. And I'm just going to give it a quick spin here so I can do the other side. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do it to this one. So make sure it's thoroughly dry. That's the point of this. Okay. One, two, three. All right, and we are done. I'm just gonna take off the piece that kind of dripped on the bottom here. It's spreading on me. Poopy poopy. That's okay. We will fix it in 1 second. Okay, I'm just taking off the excess. So you can see things like this happen all the time. And it's not to panic. You just fix it. There we go. And one dot. Okay. Let's see how this side is. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So we are going to let these thoroughly dry. I'm going to brush the rest of the area that's not done by the paint. And when those are thoroughly dry, I will apply a coat of it on top. And I'm hoping it's going to dry properly since there's Varathane underneath it. If it doesn't, I will probably have to peel off this Varathane somehow and then apply the coat on there. So for some reason this two are attaching to each other, so I'm not liking that. So I'm just gonna rub it with the Varathane right now, and it kind of cleans it right off. And let's see how these are. They're okay. So I'm just gonna do 3 more dots on the other side. Okay. 1,
You're so cute, Mommy.
2. Thanks, honey.
I can't believe that you can make something.
Mm-hmm.
When you're done, could you?
My daughter's like, I can't believe you can make stuff like that. That's cute. Alright, so that's basically it, guys. Still not liking the size of these ones, so I'm going to use the Varathane again to remove it. And if it's not coming off like it was the first time, you can always use rubbing alcohol or confectioner's glaze. I use confectioner's glaze personally because that's what I have.
Mommy, have you ever used the alcohol?
I have used rubbing alcohol, yes. And it's rubbing alcohol, not drinking alcohol.
Oh. rubbing alcohol, not drinking alcohol.
Right.
That's what that is.
Okay.
Drink alcohol.
So that is off, and I'm gonna do the dots again, and hopefully they come out smaller, like how I want them to be. Okay, there, there. And on this side, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. So that is done. Those are done. Gonna let them dry, and then when they're finished drying, I'm going to apply another coat over top of those dots and just rest it on it. And that's basically it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, so you can see if you make mistakes, you could always fix them. Thanks, guys, for watching. I promise this is the end of it. Thanks. Bye.